Well, this looks a little better than yesterday morning. Hey everybody, it's 3:33 again on December 10th. Or I'm sorry, January 10th, 2025, and I'm here for my 3:33 a.m. message. Because you know what? It's been happening. I just wake up at 3:33 and it's just clear. Like, I'm not going to be falling asleep. And then I have like these ideas start flowing through, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm making these videos, so I am just going to come and make videos, and this is going to be the thing I do for right now. This is practice. I'm just, learning to speak on camera, learning to be comfortable with this. Who's watching really anyway right now? But that is kind of the thing that I'm going to be talking about today. That was kind of on my heart. On this YouTube channel that I have that I started. Actually, I started this YouTube channel like a long time ago, but I didn't really start adding to it a lot until recently. And most of the videos I post, 10 views. Probably some of those views are me. Some of those views probably are people who just watch like the first 5 seconds and change it. Probably, I would be surprised. I could probably count on one hand how many people have watched my whole videos, and those are probably my friends. So that's where things are at right now, and it's exactly where they should be, because you know what? I'm not really quite polished yet. I don't really know how to comb my hair and prepare for the camera. The only camera I have is like this, the one on my MacBook, which has weird light streaks going through it, probably from me dropping the computer at some point. That's just where things are at. So it's practice time. But you know what? I do kind of like the light streaks, because it's like, oh, it's like lights coming down from heaven. Oh, Holy Father, thank you. No, I'm joking. But I do want to, I have an interesting kind of concept for today's time, and that is the future. Like, I want to speak. I'm speaking today to the people who are watching this video in the future, because you know what? There are many people who will be watching this video in the future, because my channels and my persona on the cloud is going to become much more bigger, and people will be watching, and it'll be more polished. I'll probably have people like publicists and stuff saying, oh, do say this, don't say that, maybe you should brush your hair, or maybe you should shave a little bit, or maybe you should look at this look. I'm going to have people helping me edit my videos. I'm going to be having people, helping make the ideas that I have like actually become a thing. They're going to be elaborate. They're going to be fun. There's going to be games, and the technology is going to be so much more than what we have right now. So, but like even the videos that I'm making right now, like this video right here, like will be able to be, expanded upon to, wherever the people are looking back on this in the future, they'll be able to kind of interact with this video in the future in more ways than, somebody who's interacting with this video in 2025, which just sees this recording just saying, hi, this is me, and you can't really like, ask me questions or anything. But, in the future, somebody will be able to look back on this video and then, interact with me right now, just like, they would if I was in the future, 1,000 years, 500,000 years, a million years, probably maybe even 100 years. I mean, who knows? But it's just going to change. And when people look back on these videos, they're going to be able to interact with them in different ways. And so, why not talk to the audience that's actually watching than the ones like in 2025, January 2025, which don't even know exist yet, and just say what's up, and just say that yeah, here I am, 2025, just learning, just practicing, just learning and how to have a voice, how to be comfortable in my skin, how to, I mean, exciting things are happening every single freaking day. I mean, miracles every day that, you know, like everyday miracle is true, but just like I can just see like when things happen, like that these are the seeds of things that I see happening way in the future. And so it's just a lot of fun right now because, you know, I have like almost no money. I have like, you know, like there's a Honda Odyssey van that is that somebody's selling for $1,000 in Mount Vernon, you know, on the way back from Eugene. And I'd love to buy that van because I love Honda Odyssey vans because they're like the best because you can just camp in them. You can drive them anywhere. They have great, I mean, just the Honda Odyssey van I have right now is just like so the best. I would not trade it for anything. I mean, I love it more than my friend's Sprinter van because that thing is big and there's lots of problems that can happen all the time. My Honda Odyssey has like no problems. I mean, the brakes squeak, so it sounds like I'm honking the horn every time I try to stop in the morning. But besides that, it's great. The heat is great. The air conditioning is great in the summertime. I've got this really nice mattress in the back, so it's like I can sleep better in that van than I do in any house. It's just got great storage. It smells good. I mean, now that I haven't been smoking weed or cigarettes for like months now, that it doesn't reek like smoke. I mean, that van is happy. And I'm adding stickers to it. I'm gonna start decorating the inside more. But my whole point there is that I have like so little money right now that I can't even afford to go buy this $1,000 van. I'm taking a trip to the Bahamas to visit my friend Mark English here in on the 25th. It's the 10th, so in 15 days. And it was 15 years ago that my dad died around this time. So, yeah, that's kind of like the moment right now. And so, yeah, I'm going to go visit Mark English in the Bahamas. And we haven't really hung out since we, you know, when we met, when he moved to Portland for a little bit. And I think that there will be many things coming from that. And, you know, maybe in the future, you will be looking back on that and being like, wow, this is a moment where Kiana's looking to this future time where this thing is going to happen, where this is going to be the start of a lot of different cool things. And also today we discussed starting, and it's really cool how things happen, because like, just to let you all know like what my reality is like I like am in the moment. Like I don't really plan much. I schedule lightly. But a lot of times at the beginning of the day, I don't even know what I'm going to be doing. And probably to most normal people, it just seems like the most irresponsible, like lazy life. But it's not. I'm like working all day. And the universe just drops me into situations where I'm like all of a sudden planning something and the things are coming through and they're happening and the people I'm talking to are like feeling it too. And it's like... And it just you don't even know when it's gonna happen all the time. Like I could plan a meeting and be like, oh my gosh, like let's plan a meeting, let's do some important stuff, and that meeting could just be dull. We could just be all sitting there and just being like, well, nothing's really happening, or we're not really getting anywhere. We're just running around in circles because it's not time yet. But then all of a sudden, we might be like, hey, you want to talk for 5 minutes? You know, like just just catch up, and then boom, in that meeting, like freaking everything is coming together, like it's like puzzle pieces dropping from the sky, and we're just like, as quickly as we can, putting puzzle pieces in place. This is the beginnings of heaven on earth, which humans have been building for and preparing for many years. I mean, and even before we even knew what we were doing. I mean, we still don't really know what we're doing, but we've been doing it for a really long time, and we've been doing great. We've done a really great job. And so, yeah, today, I was talking to a friend of mine, Raquel, And I've known for a long time we were going to be starting some sort of a church, but not church like we think of church, but a church, a gathering place for people to come together. And, I mean, you could call it Christianity, but it's not. I mean, it's, when you think of Christianity, like, I hate saying Christianity because like it's just, there's just this, Christianity has so many, it's like a ball that has like all these rough patches, so it doesn't really bounce straight. It's got to be polished. There's so many things that are on top, like caked onto it, that are unnecessary, that makes it all weird and bounce in weird directions, and it just needs to be polished. And so when I say Christianity, it's like, oh, people think one thing, but it's like not that at all. It's a different thing. I mean, Christianity in its purest form, what they were doing at that time, they were gathering together, bunch of people, and they were taking sacrament together, taking communion, taking sacrament together. There probably is not as much preaching as they'd like to think it is today. Like they you see things where Jesus was giving a talk, and so nowadays, like, people just talk. They talk at people. You gotta go there and you sit there and somebody talks at them. It probably wasn't as much like that. I mean, you got some speeches and some talks that Jesus did do. But and maybe it was, what do I know? But this is going to be much more where the talk, the preaching, the lesson will not come from somebody else talking to you. It will come from each person will have that message, in a lot of ways, just come from within themselves. And so the lesson for every person will come from each person's heart, and that lesson will guide them. And the people who are organizing and orchestrating or facilitating will be more just there to provide safe space, answer questions, help people feel comfortable, create a real good vibe of love and trust and like acceptance and welcoming. There's not going to be as much control, like we're all into control, and God has, I come from a church where it was just all control all the time. Like, we controlled every aspect, and all that control, created some cool things, but it was really exhausting for those who were controlling it, unless you were a person on top who was like, giving your orders and everybody was doing it. I mean, in some ways it was practice for what this is now, where you can let go of control because you have worked with a lot of control. Sometimes you really got to lean into something to learn the other side of it. And so, yeah, the church thing is happening, and it was kind of born today. And I'm in this really special place. I'm at the home of this woman named Willow, who, probably is known too. But Willow is the mom of two really amazing kids. And Willow is a freaking magic woman of, who's not even trying, like, you've got people like in movies who are like magic people, and they're like, pew, pew, I am magical. And they wear the garbs and the robes, and they're like, you've got crystals on their fingers, and they're like, I am magic. No, this woman is not like that. This woman is ordinary and blends in like everybody and is not trying to stand out. It's so beautiful to watch a person who is truly magical, like, who is so magical that they are no longer trying to ever be magical. They're more trying to just be like everybody else and trying to fit in. It's kind of like in the movie Kill Bill, to the way that Bill was describing whoever the Uma Thurman's character is, like, she was the superhero, and she was just trying to blend in with everybody else and be normal. So she was living this like housewife kind of life that was not her, but she just wanted to fit in and be normal because she was a superhero, and she was like a Superman in a woman's body. She was a superwoman. And look at that hair. And so this woman is like that, and she's so amazing. And just to watch her just be normal, but yet just seeing the magic just exude off of her, just every step. It's like in the movies they try to show it by like when people take a step, like the flowers grow, and like, bluebirds on your shoulder, like the way the movies try to show magical people. This person is the real deal, and it's so cool. And their house is just very small of a house in a normal neighborhood, and every time I come here, it is freaking like a vortex. Like, this is like the best example of a vortex that I have experienced. I mean, you just come in here and it's like angels and fairies and gnomes are all over this place, and they are just whispering and, highly involved in everything that you're doing in their own non-intrusive ways. It's just so much fun, you guys, to be in this place right now. I mean, on this planet right now, I don't really watch the news, but today when I'm taking this class called the Soul Creator Community. It's like a 1-year workshop on how to do what I'm doing right here. And the person who is heading up this thing lives in LA, and they were like, oh my gosh, the things that are happening in LA. And I was like, what's happening in LA? And I guess there's these fires that are shooting across LA right now and burning down all the beautiful homes and, displacing people. And it's really scary if you're there. I could see she was noticeably distressed, and she was about to head to a very, 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 very big initiation, which is an ayahuasca ceremony. And so, she was feeling a lot, but but that's something that's happening too. It's the beginning of 2025. Donald Trump is now president for the second time. He's doing stuff, the media's saying things about things he's doing. I don't really trust the media really about anything except for what I can see through it, So yeah, obviously things are happening. What they're actually saying is happening. I don't necessarily believe any of that. But I do believe things are happening, and I do really believe people are like uncomfortable, and there's fires happening out in LA, and like, it's weird because I do know that this is the time where things start to be shaken a little bit. And it's not just happening in our physical world, it's also happening internally. It's actually happening internally before it's even happening in the physical world. But that shaking is trying to get us to kind of break out of the old kind of paradigm we've been in, so we can step into a better one, a more magical one. And we will be stepping into a more magical one if we want to, because this is a place where people will have the freedom to choose. And if people want to do something more of the same that we've been doing, or if people want to or need to step into something maybe a little bit more controlled, it'll be wherever you want to be. It's whatever's most comfortable for you. And but there's a lot of us who are excited about the magical world that we will be stepping into, where money is not as like, necessary. You just do what you want. Everything's there. Everything's provided for. Everybody's getting along. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody knows their purpose. It's just, there's no fighting. There's no war because there's no need to do it. A place of peace, but there's also adventure and mystery and all that stuff there. That's the world that's coming and that's arriving. And so, with all of that, it's there's a little bit of a shakeup happening, and that shakeup is going to happen in the outer world, but it's also happening in the inner world, because the inner world is also the outer world. It's the same thing. It's like two wheels connected, and they're turning, and they turn together, and since they're both changing, and so they're changing at the same time. And I'm sure, maybe if you're watching this and it's still 2025, you feel it in some ways. And all I can say is just the more and more you can trust the more and more you can be kind to yourself, the more and more you can be kind to others. If you can know that the inner is the outer, that your reality on the inside will reflect on the outside. So if you create peace on the outside, it'll create peace on the inside. And if you create peace on the inside, it'll create peace on the outside. You know, if you blame and create enemies on the outside, there will be blame enemies going on the inside. If you forgive on the outside, you'll also forgive yourself on the inside, and vice versa. And it's not an easy thing to just to accept and go into for anybody, you know? So don't be too hard on yourself if things are kind of like shaky and storm-like and feel like things are falling apart. And the more you can just allow it to fall apart and just know that you're going to be okay, like trust in the perfection. Trust that, you know, you will be okay if you want to be okay. You know, get comfortable. Maybe the more and more you can get comfortable with all kind of circumstances, the more you can move into a circumstance that is what you actually want to, you know, and just know that the moment is always changing. It's all never forever. And, you know, the uncomfortable moments, the spikes, the painful moments, you know, if you're experiencing them, they only, if you don't resist them, they only have to happen for a moment, you know. Even you think about something like death, you know, we spend our whole life of trying to avoid and prepare. And like, I think about people who are like storing up food and all this stuff right now, you know, imagining this horrible situation where they're going to be starving and, you know, maybe death, death happens, you know, it happens pretty quick most of the time. And, you know, but we put all this energy and time and fear and worry into preparing to try to avoid this thing that, you know, is going to happen eventually to all of us. And when it happens, it'll probably just happen quick. And, you know, not saying like if you're feeling called to prepare and do that, that's probably a good thing to do too. But, you know, be at peace with what is in the moment and don't worry too much about the future, you know, like learn to accept your past and embrace your past and accept that, like embrace and love your past because it made you who you are today, and love who you are today. Like the more and more you can be in the moment of the right now and accept like, oh, I'm comfortable. My body temperature feels good. I feel full. My body, I don't feel sick. If I do feel sick, I can take some steps to being better. The more and more you can make your current moment feel good, and just sink into the gratitude that your moment feels so good right now that, you know, it just feels so good right now that you thank your past. You thank everything you went through in the past because your moment right now is so good. And if everything in your past was right to get you to here with your moment so good, well, of course the future is going to be okay too, you know? What do you want? What do you want your future to be? You know, like you can create whatever you want from the moment, you know, and it's not through thinking about it. It's more through feeling it. You know, I know what I want in my future, and it is my future. It already is done. It's the best future in the world for me. I mean, it's the best, and I'm so excited, but I'm just as excited about right now and watching it come into being and come into play and watch the little, you know, snowflakes. Like, it's like, you know, it's like the winter time, and you know you're gonna have a winter wonderland in like, you know, 24 hours. But, you know, right now I'm looking outside and the snow has just started falling, and it's not even quite sticking yet, but it's falling hard enough that you know it's going to start sticking. You start seeing the white on the roads a little bit, and it's just a really exciting time. And if there's people in your house, you're running in and you're telling them, oh my gosh, guys, it's snowing, come out here and look. That's what this reality feels like for me right now. I know the streets are going to be covered in beautiful white snow in the next, 24 hours or so. 24 hours metaphorically. But, but I'm excited because I'm watching the snowflakes fall. And I know where it's going, and I don't really know how it's going to be there. I just know I get to be an observer of the snow falling, and I actually get to be a player in it too. So I get to be both. I know I'm going to be an active member in the unfolding movie, and I know it's going to be fun the whole way. I know it's going to be a great movie. I don't know what the plot is going to be exactly. I'm just watching the characters arrive, and I'm seeing, and every time a character arrives, I get a little, like, nudge of who this character is. And but I still don't know, and I don't necessarily even want to know who the characters are. I only want to know what I need to know so that the movie experience, the watching of this movie unfold, and the playing the part in this movie can be as fun as possible. I want to be as happy and as joy filled as possible, and I'm trusting the universe. The universe knows what I love, and I don't have really much wants or needs anymore. Once you sink into the moment, your wants and needs kind of go away. You have them. Like, I love the things that I love, and they're the things I've always loved. But the moment, there's nothing that's better than the moment, which is always. The more you can just arrive here. And so when you're here and you learn to enjoy that so much, then you start letting go of trying to control your moment, and you just know, like, whatever is getting brought to you is just the perfect thing. And you learn to trust the waves, like, even the downward wave, if you're going on a downward wave, like something great is coming. You can even look, if you have something coming up, like, that is going to be really exciting, you can feel it, like, the days before, like the downward wave, and then you can be like, oh, I'm feeling down or whatever, and then you can be like, oh, I'm feeling down because this thing that's coming up, and I'm getting ready for a build-up. And you can learn to observe the waves, and so it's not less about trying to predict or prepare for the future. It's more learning how to ride the waves. The universe has a lot been trying to teach me about water. I've got 2 fish friends, one red one and one blue one. Their names are Water and Red, and they are teaching me about water. These are freaking enlightened flower of life fish, and they are amazing, and they're my fish friends, and they travel with me. And I haven't yet painted from their water, but I will be. I'll be painting a little bit from each of their waters. They're going to be teaching me a whole lot of things. But yeah, it's such an exciting time. I'm going to be going to Mexico. I'm going to be going to Kauai. I'm going to be taking some trips to Guatemala this year. Probably one trip. Bahamas here in the next 10 days or 15 days. I'm doing a 10-day Vipassana, I think. I'm signed up for it on the 12th of February. I've got a new kind of love interest that is just better than anything it's pretty great. Whatever love interest I'm experiencing in the moment is always the best. But this one is like, what I love about this one is it just feels so secure. Like, like my own experience right now of what I feel in my own body is just so solid and secure, like, and just so, like, good. And so that's what is coming to me also. And, I don't need to know what anything is or how it's going to be. Like, I'm willing and able to have any kind of structures in place for whatever future love interest I have, but it does not have to be the same as the structures that were there in the past of being like, people say, oh, are you poly? Are you monogamous? Are you dating? Or are you, I just don't even know. And what I love about this person is they don't really need to know either. Like, it's just like, this feels really good, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, this feels really good. And I'm just like, I feel so good. I just want to make your experience so much better because I'm overflowing with good just being in their presence. So I'm just like, dude, I'm like freaking, my cup is overflowing, so let me pour it on them. And they're like, my cup is overflowing, so let me pour it on you. And it's not that it's like easy. There's like chaos and problems and missed meetings and things canceling all the time. And it's just like so cool to be with a person who can be in the everyday ups and downs of life with me and enjoy it so much. And I know that our relationship is not going to be like super traditional, but I don't know what that looks like, and I don't care. And I'm willing to make it look even more traditional than it's ever been. Like, I'm willing to freaking, yeah, whatever, dude. I'm just saying, I'm open to all the options. And I just feel so comfortable with the universe and how it's speaking to me and how I'm listening and how I'm able to speak to it. Like, it's just like a constant conversation that never needs to be had because it's always happening. And so I just know it's all good. And so there's nobody to be mad at, and there's no enemies. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for this time, for this place, for my friends, for the friends that I've had that are not talking to me right now, because it gives me space. The friends that I have that are talking to me, the friends that I have that want to talk to me more, the friends that around me that I see growing so much, that I'm learning from. Like, I'm not doing this alone. I'm not anyway in the best place or the most smartest or the most, best at everything. I'm best at what I do. But I also have friends around me that are really good at things that they do. And they're trying to help me in the things that they do well, that I'm still learning how to do well. And I so appreciate them. Like my friend Kyle Remington. I'm so grateful for my cheap phone that I have. This phone is like free, and it's like good for nothing except for texting and voicemail. I'm grateful for the art that I'm creating, like this picture of my fish red. I'm grateful for the flower of life that I drew on New Year's with 40 different people. That was a wish for heaven on earth at the Velvet Rope, and all their practice circles that they made. And I'm grateful for this picture that I made of my dad. This is a painting I made of my dad, Iraj Nixie. And I made it on the cusp of his birthday and his death day. And I guess this is my dad as like kind of a spirit being. And I wrote a bunch of stuff there. But yeah, this is my prayer book. And I was given this mantra that says Guru Guru Vai Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vai, and it's like, so we say that. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you if you're watching in 2025. Thank you if you're watching in 3025. Thank you if you're watching where we don't even know what numbers are anymore, or whatever, or wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you to the gnomes. Thank you to the mushrooms. Thank you to the angels. Thank you to the flower of life, who's my mom and dad and my friend. And I'm just so grateful. So I'm coming up on 33, and I just want to say I love you all, and I thank you for this day. And I guess we'll be doing these 333 meetings more often for a while as we practice.